this is why he's releasing all this information, because he's like, he's probably being attacked. He's like, no, this is not fucking true. I didn't do this. Here's a website with 165 pages for you to peruse and see where I'm coming from. Like, she's not going to try and take me down. Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Don't Let It Stu. I'm here with Gibson Johns with the podcast Gabbing with Gibs, and he has officially moved over to the Hurrdat family, so welcome.
Thank you so much. I'm thrilled to be here.
I was like looking at your Instagram before we got on, and you were at BravoCon the same year I was with Amy Phillips. 2022 in Vegas?
Was that in
New York?
Yes,
New York.
And Javits? Okay.
Yes.
Because I've been to all three of the BravoCons.
Oh, you were the original one. The original one I heard was really good.
I moderated panels at that one.
And you did 2022 as well. I saw the Family Karma panel.
I did. But yeah, that was, I remember actually, because I think I interviewed Amy for the cookbook you guys did together.
Yes.
On my show that I had for Yahoo back in the day.
Got it. Okay.
I think I went to the guys' booth or something. We
probably met. Like, I mean, that was
did.
Such a fun BravoCon. Like I was like selling seasonings. I wasn't allowed to sell food products there, but I just like snuck them in anyway. And then we had cookbooks, and we were doing a deal with the cookbook. We sold like 300 cookbooks that weekend. It was insane. We had a lot of fun.
I love it.
I went last year as well. Was it last year or the year before? Year before, right? There was none last year.
In Vegas.
Yeah. That was fun. It was
2023.
It was fun. It was a bit weird. My mom had passed away like the day before. It was just like a weird, like, it was just kind of crazy. I know. I don't not to bring it up.
Weird roller coaster of emotion.
It was like I was trying to like. I'm like, okay, I'm going home tomorrow. It'll be fine. Like, just try and get through it, whatever. But yeah, I didn't have crazy involvement in it that time or last year. It was just like going for like just for fun and whatever. Yeah.
Right.
So I always start off the podcast with like something you want to get off your chest. Anything that's bothering you. If you have something, I like you go first. Usually, like I'm just like, oh hey, what do you have? And then I just go. But go ahead. If you have something that's kind of bothering you right now.
I mean, here's the thing. I think what was bothering me up until 4 days ago was just how terrible and long January was. So I think that it's been taken off my chest for me. So I'm feeling pretty clear-headed right now.
Yeah, it was. I saw a post you were saying like January was the Traitors. You just posted that.
Oh, literally it was. It was February is feeling faithful, but January deceitful. Banish it.
So I watched the Grammys on Sunday night. I cooked food. I had two friends over. It was fun. It was a bit boring. It was like whatever, right? I was watching to see if like Taylor Swift could like break a record, right? And which she didn't. Okay. Now, but besides that, I'll talk about the Cowboy Carter thing in a second, but something I was just watching on the red carpet, and it gets me every year, and I feel like we all get duped every single year, and I don't know, maybe I'm the only one that thinks this. Alicia Keys. She's always on the red carpet, every fucking Grammy. She's like, hey, it's Alicia. It's like, hey, I love New York, or New York. I'm like, she comes on the red carpet, and I always fucking think, I'm like, oh, she must have a new album out. Oh, no, she doesn't. It's been years. And it's like, it drives me nuts because they celebrate her like she just dropped a single, and she's there every year. But like, I don't know. It kind of bothers me.
Do you not like Alicia Keys?
No, I love her. I love her music.
Okay.
No, I love her. It's just, I'm like, oh, Alicia Keys again. Did she bring out a new album? And then I look and no.
Yeah. I think
Do you know what I mean?
I think she's one of those. She's one of those artists who had their big time in the 2000s. I feel like she's done the music thing, and now it's like she's a skincare line, and she does like all these random other things, and it's like kind of like Rihanna. It's like, okay, we'd love music from Alicia Keys, we'd love music from Rihanna, but then Alicia Keys gets an award for like her global impact, which is great. Commend her, but do
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're saying. I do know what you're saying. I do.
It's like that's fine, but like, there's a lot of artists that had like great time and they don't get celebrated like her. I don't know. It's just, I know it's a trigger for me. Maybe I need to look at myself. Why am I projecting? Probably projecting. Maybe I wish I was there. God, just get over yourself, Stu. Okay, next. This Heidi and Spencer thing. At this stage, I'm over it. Like, I unfollowed both of them. I followed them. when they were hot and it was a cool thing and whatever that, but they just keep popping up now. And it's like, please listen more. Please put it in playlists. We're nearly at number one. It's like, you're awesome. You did it. But now it's kind of like the hills all over again where I find you obnoxious.
Yeah, it was really fun for like 2 or 3 weeks, and it felt really good because you could engage with it and really help them, and genuinely like you were getting them money. And
I loved that.
And yeah, I feel like, but now it's sort of like, I don't know how you keep that momentum going without it feeling repetitive and like sort of being a dead horse and whatever. And like, I admire the hustle 100%, and I feel bad for what they went to, but I'm also like, you know, we were promised a Pitbull remix of the song. It hasn't come out yet.
Which would have been cool.
It's kind of, right, but I feel like it's like sort of, we're pushing the end post for this. It's just like, okay.
And then it's like, okay, all the focus then is taken off the other people that did lose houses, and they fucking need money and all this stuff. And it's like, okay, you had your moment. We gave you a few weeks. You're cool. Superficial. It appeared on fucking Times Square, like as a trending thing. Like, you got it. Like, I think they're going to be able to springboard this onto something else. Maybe a reality show. Maybe she will get in a few more singles. I hope she does. Like, it's awesome because
I'm sure she will.
The hustle was real.
She will.
Yeah.
You know what would have been a nice ending to it? Some sort of appearance at the Grammys, and then it's done. You know what I mean? Like you have to culminate it into something, and then
that could have been fun. Actually,
the Grammys were sort of about the fires.
It was,
stuff, you know, like even just have them there. But I agree. I think we need to like move on.
Yeah. Speaking of moving on, I don't think we're ever going to be moving on from the next topic. She was out and about Monday night with Ryan Reynolds, and she was saying, like, an insider said she wants to focus on family life. Really? It's like, that's what you want to focus on now? That's what you should have been focusing on a few months ago.
Yeah. I felt so strongly about this whole thing for the first like 2 weeks, and then they both started dropping like 200-page lawsuits and complaints and dropping websites and voice notes and so many leaks on both sides. I am so
what like, I want your take on it. Really, like, are you in it?
I just feel like there's so much noise. I actually feel like his lawyer and his team are sort of intentionally sort of flooding the zone to sort of distract from everything and to sort of confuse people, because ultimately Blake got the first
hit
say because she went to the New York Times and she kind of cultivated that public goodwill for her. And I think they're trying to win, but I think when you complicate it, you complicate that goodwill where it should go.
He's created so much doubt in her, and with facts as well, and screenshots and text messages and video footage. Like, anything that she has claimed, he's like debunked it. And he has, and people are fucking like getting mad with me, like, because I pretty much talk about it in every week podcast, whoever I have on, because it's just ongoing, right? And
it's
they're like,
there.
They're still like Team Blake, like, he's doing this to her and so. And I'm like, guys, like, this is why he's releasing all this information, because he's probably being attacked. He's like, no, this is not fucking true. I didn't do this. Here's a website with 165 pages for you to peruse and see where I'm coming from. Like, she's not going to try and take me down.
Right. It's like her story has definitely, it's hard. I feel like her story has definitely, there have been holes poked in it, and like he's debunked a lot of things. Yeah. But I also, like, I just don't, if there's nothing that he did, why would she come out and say that he did do something? And why, like that's what I don't really understand.
So here's the next part with that. So here's the thing about that I want to get into. The internet's buzzing with speculation that there was more happened behind the scenes. I believe this. I believe that she liked him. She kind of fell for him. Those scenes were fucking super steamy. Like, they had great chemistry. You could see that in the movie. And she was very kind of flirtatious in that video when they were kind of dancing side by side. And I think there was like text messages going back and forth. I think Ryan Reynolds saw something. I think then he got involved. Then he's poking fun on the Deadpool movie, the nice pool comments and all that stuff about him. And so I feel like to get out of it, this whole thing was like constructed. He was putting pressure
Really?
on me.
Really?
Maybe it's a stretch. I don't know. Like, but I just feel like she's so like she will not back down. Maybe it's narcissism as well.
But that's what makes me. I mean, I don't know. That's what makes me think that something nefarious did happen.
Yeah.
That he did, and maybe it's hard to prove, and that maybe they sort of flooded the zone a little bit with other claims. And I don't know. It's my brain is very jumbled about this.
Yeah.
Because I don't know.
No, it is. It's a very like I don't know.
Blake and Ryan had so much to lose on this. So much more than Justin.
Yes, that's true. But I think that they thought, because they're so powerful, that he was just going to run away and nothing was going to happen.
Right.
And they fucked with the wrong
that's
person.
valid.
I really do. I think they've been doing it all their life in Hollywood, being bullies. And I got a DM last night, and this was the exact DM that I got. I know the female president of Justin Baldoni's production company. She has never had a bad word to say about him. Blake is vile. No, I don't know. But this is just a random person saying this to me. I think it could be true. Why would someone just text or DM me that? But there hasn't been any bad stuff about him in work over the years, where it has been a shit ton about her.
Yeah, I think that's true. The one thing is, didn't his podcast hosts like dip out of their podcast or something like that?
Oh, they did? Out of his?
I think she did.
She did.
He had a woman. He had a female co-host of his podcast who like, and this is what sort of got me intrigued a little bit at the beginning, was like she went to the premiere and didn't talk about him the whole time, and like and then she dropped out of the show or something that they had together.
Oh fuck.
So I don't know.
Okay, that could have been okay. True. But then that could have just been a fight, an argument. It could have been a dispute. You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. I just feel like honestly, both sides look bad to me. Like I feel like they're both getting so in the muck with this, and I'm just sort of like, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I'm as invested as I was a month ago.
Did you read any of the 165 pages?
I read some of the initial stuff, and then I was like, what am I doing here? I left school 10 years ago. I don't want to be reading lawsuits, and I don't know what any of this means.
I always, like my friend Zach Peter, I just go to No Filter with Zach. He's just like an expert on it. He reads everything, and he goes on like he's in deep on it, and he's getting the views. It's working for him on his TikTok and his Instagram. Mm-hmm. It's amazing. I think if they go to trial, and then they went to trial, and then the judge was like, or they were trying to throw him out, like put a gag order, that failed, and then they were like, well, you can't depose Blake, and it's like, no, she's not above the law. If she's going to be deposed, she's going to be here. So I think it's giving like an Amber Heard 2.0. Like we're going to get next. I wish it was moved up though. I know the trial.
I'm like that. Well, that's what I'm saying. I can't do another 15 months of this. The trial's for like 2026 in the spring.
March 6th,
dude. Okay, Stu, you're in.
We're going to be like, I'm probably going to be in New York. We're going to be at like 3 BravoCons later by the time it comes out.
Oh my god, yeah, literally.
But I mean, I do think it is smart on Justin's team attorney to bring out all the facts, because at the end of the day, with this, I feel like with these lawsuits, the Johnny Depp one, the Amber Heard thing, the public perception, I feel like, is everything. Because once somebody actually drops like a claim that sexual harassment, anything like that, it doesn't fucking matter what happens in court. People are like, you're a dick, you're a creep, you're this, you're that. Your agency drops you. You're just fucking guilty without even anything like anybody hearing your side of the story. So I think it's really good that he did drop the website. Here's everything. You can all make up your own mind. I'm just showing you whatever. If you think I'm a creep still, so be it. But I don't think I did anything wrong.
Smart tactic on his part.
Yeah,
it's smart tactic on his part. I don't know if I agree with his story completely or her story completely, but that's as you said, that's the tactic, is to complicate it and confuse us, and like.
Yeah,
you seem more resolute than I am, but like that's because I think I've checked out.
Yeah, it just keeps. There's just something new every single day.
I know, there really is.
Right, well, we'll put a pin on it, and then we'll come back to it like next week, I guess. There'll be something new, I'm sure. I'm kind of obsessed with this as well. I've been talking about it a few weeks ago with Love Meghan, the show on Netflix. It still has not come out. They pushed it forward, or they pushed it back to the March 4th because of the fires. I honestly think the whole reason that they're pushing it back is because of this Justin Baldoni thing, because it's just...
Really?
I just feel like all the focus is on this. Nobody's going to be paying attention. Like, I don't think anybody's going to be paying attention to Meghan Markle with this Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively stuff going on. The fires are done. Like, nobody's really talking about the fires anymore. So she could have brought it out like this week if that was what she was concerned about.
But I didn't really fully understand why she couldn't release it during the fires. Like, plenty of other TV shows came out in the past couple weeks, you know? And I actually am, you know, I tend to kind of be on the Meghan side of things a lot of the time, which I'm guessing you're not. But
oh, God.
I don't understand why she had to postpone it.
Well, I'm thankful to my partners at Netflix for supporting me in delaying the launch as we focus on the needs of those impacted by the wildfires in my home state of California, Meghan says. So that's the statement.
Okay.
This is her last shot, I think. Like, there's no... Like,
it kind of is.
Yeah. All the shows failed, and I think this one's going to fail too. I'm sorry, I just do. For her to think that we're going to believe that she's this Martha Stewart, like in Montecito with her herbs and spices. Well,
that was what she was doing before. She had a lifestyle blog that was very similar kind of content. So I don't think it's that much of a left swing.
Oh, really?
Left turn
Okay.
For her.
So she had something like that already before she met Harry.
Before she met Harry, she ran a blog called The Tig, where she did like cooking and lifestyle stuff. And the royals made her shut it down and delete her Instagram once they started to get serious.
See, this is why I have you on the podcast.
Yes.
To call me out on my lies.
But I think a lot of people, because she wasn't really that famous before, unless you were like a Suits fan, you weren't really familiar with that.
Sure.
The general public wasn't. And so like a lot of people don't know that about her. I think they're assuming people do. You know, they're assuming that people knew that she has this background. And so it's a little bit of like, they didn't prime people to expect this from her in some ways. And so it does feel random. It does feel like she's trying to all of a sudden be Martha Stewart or Gwyneth Paltrow.
I think that's where I'm coming from. Yeah.
There should have, I don't know. I just feel like her team has like, has taken so many missteps in terms of like her reentry into public life, whether it's like people constantly quitting their team or doing a podcast that goes one season or doing the docuseries and then dropping. Like, I just feel like there's so many false starts with them and they're just being set up for failure in some ways because people are just like, okay, this is not going to work either, you know?
And that's the thing as well, like hearing those stories of stuff like that and swapping out teams and so forth. It's like, is she that difficult to work with? Is she that, like, can people not stand her? Like, she obviously is in that Netflix deal, so they kind of have to do these few shows and before she's out of a contract, I guess, right?
Right. Right, exactly.
And it's, the thing about it is with me is like, I swear to God, I don't know why the camera's acting up today. It's driving me crazy. It's okay though on your end, is it, Justin?
Yeah.
Oh, it's fine. Okay, maybe I'm just getting a notification. Okay. Anyway, so the part I find hard with the Meghan stuff is she just doesn't come across believable to me. I want to believe what she's selling to me. It just doesn't come across that she believes in it.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's just her. I don't know.
It's very curated. It's very manicured. It's and I can't tell how much of that is like who she wants to be or just like learn stuff from being in the royal, you know, world and being, because they're so selective with what they say and put out there, and they're so, you know, careful about their images, more so than, you know, what she was, which was like a C-list actress beforehand.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I think that it's, and so Harry thinks that way because he's grown up in that family, and so like, I just can't tell like what what the end game is.
Yeah,
and
we'll just have to wait
maybe they
and
don't
see.
know, you know?
I'm dying to see it now because I really actually, honestly,
Me
I
too.
seem like I'm kind of obsessed with it.
We'll circle back.
Yes, if we will. I'll come on your podcast and we can talk about it.
Perfect.
Just to wrap that up, when like selling, like something that you're passionate about and trying to sell on television can be challenging at first. It was for me before I did like shows on Food Network or anything like that, or I had a show in Ireland on my own, a cooking show. And I remember even going back to that when I shot that, like, I remember watching back going like, fuck, I kind of don't even believe myself that I'm selling this dish on TV. Now, totally different person. Now when I make it, I love it. You can feel it, that like I'm enjoying it and stuff, but it takes time to kind of train yourself, like just the nerves on camera and so forth. So maybe it's that, maybe we should loosen up.
How did you make that switch? Was it just was it really over time?
It was people telling me, like friends and stuff, just be yourself. And I know it's easier said than done because when the cameras are lit up and there's lights and there's people and stuff, it's like you really just have to do it as in like, I don't give a shit. I don't care what anybody thinks. Just do it. Make a balls of it. Like it doesn't matter if you make mistakes. Let the fucking croutons burn in the oven. It's really funny. That's what they want. That's what people want,
right.
And it's authentic and it's real. Totally. It's like, oh my god,
it's
like Stu's a bit of a fucking mess in the kitchen. This is hilarious, and I am sometimes.
And so am I. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, exactly. Yeah. I feel like, and I want to root for Meghan. I really do, because I think that the cards have been stacked against her in many ways. But I don't know if she fully knows who she is in the public arena, and that's
maybe
the issue.
That's
like
it.
You're saying, you know, you have to know who you are and be really comfortable in that. And I think that that's been so like, I don't know, she's had, in the past 10 years, she's gone from being, again, like a random actress on a cable TV show to a princess to now an ex-royal. It's like, that's a lot of identity crisis happening in somebody's mind.
So maybe this is it for her. Like maybe she will, she'll find her space with this one.
Right.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up. I mean, I'm not even going to get into Housewives or Salt Lake because I just feel like there's just fucking nothing going on. Like, it's just kind of like whatever. I want to talk about Traitors.
Okay, let's talk about Traitors.
I just love it so much. I'm just obsessed with it.
I love it so much.
It's my first time watching it this season. I didn't watch the other seasons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you haven't watched season 2?
No, and people said like you have to watch it for Phaedra because it was one of her best things.
Oh, next question, Stu. Like it's... Oh, you're gonna die.
Maybe I should watch it because you know what? Honestly, like I don't even know who won it. So it's like because you're kind of new to me, so I don't care. So it is kind of like fresh, you know?
Yeah, totally.
I just know MJ didn't get the money. I was kind of happy about that. So whatever, it's fine. That's another story. Okay. Boston Rob.
That's for the Patreon.
Oh, shit. No, I don't have a Patreon. God no. I think he's gonna go this week.
You think Rob is?
Yeah, I think he's been outed too much now after that roundtable.
I agree. I thought that they were setting him up to go out last episode because they had kept that Bob comment in of him being like, no, like they were right. But then I just feel like Derek and Wes laid out all the facts, and they were literal facts about him being a traitor.
It was perfect. And
everyone else was just like, no, but Wes is, you know, he's kind of sketchy and whatever. And so they voted him. It's so maddening to watch on TV. Maddening. It's so obvious.
So maddening.
So obvious.
It's like, but it's amazing that just all these different personalities. Some people get it. A lot of people don't. But then a lot of people are not in. Fun. Yeah, that's the fun of it. Because I was screaming at the TV. I was like, please fucking write Bob. Please write Bob. Because I do kind of want him gone too. Because he's just too cocky with it.
He's domineering too. And it's sort of like, I'm so frustrated, I don't know about you, by Caroline and Danielle, who every time they go into the turret, they're like, no, I want to get what I want. I want to murder the person that I want to murder.
Yeah.
And the second Boston Rob says anything, it's like, okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I think what they should have done is like, okay, you get to fucking choose. We'll go with you. I get to choose next week. And then she gets to choose the following week.
Yes.
And let's do it that way. It's always fair. And nobody's pissed off with each other then, right? Unless you have a really good case about why we should vote another person home.
But he doesn't have good cases. He's just like, you know, murdering the housewives and murdering Bob because Bob was on to him. And I'm also just sort of like, Carolyn and Danielle, like, I know that you guys don't trust each other, but for 1 week or one day for them, just one day of filming, have a united front and frame him at the round table, vote against him and get him out so that he's not dominating your decisions. You know?
Yeah, and it's because if the 2 girls are against him, like, then they're gonna fuck it up for everybody. Like, guys, we're all traitors, the 3 of us. Like, could you imagine just blowing it up like that and just, but or what about this? I thought this as well, and maybe it's out there, but I think it'd be a great fucking twist. Because these shows, you have to kind of think outside the box, and you have to think like 3 steps ahead. When they're in the turret, right, at the last episode, and they're all like around, and the 2 girls are pissed off at each other. I was kind of like thinking maybe this is all an act, this back and forth fighting in front of him, to think that they're fucking all against each other now, and then they go after him. Because
that'd be smart as hell.
They could have had a conversation in the house, just the show didn't show it to us because they want this big shock value. Because if you knew they had like a little conversation like, hey, we're going to pretend we're fighting and and then, he's not going to know. We'd all be in on the fucking on it then, and then we'd be like kind of shit,
right.
But if we see this massive twist and then we're like, oh my God, he fell for it. Amazing. Like a great TV. So I think maybe there's a possibility that could happen.
I would love if that could happen.
But I
agree.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know if they're thinking like that. Like, to me, Danielle, especially, I'm just sort of like, what are you doing? What is your strategy? Is there a strategy? She's such a bad actress in front of the faithfuls.
Terrible.
Like that challenge where they had the frames of people and she was
that was fucking crazy.
Crying, and Dolores was like, stop crying, and oh my God, what is going on there?
How she survived that week after like just not putting herself on the wall is just so stupid. Also when Carolyn was losing, she was like, okay, don't fucking bring up my name anymore. Like, stop saying my name, Danielle. Like, stop telling people. And she's like, okay. And then they go about the day. But then Caroline starts going around asking people.
Right.
But what I believe Danielle when Danielle says, no, that was yesterday. Yes, I was saying your name yesterday. I wasn't saying it today. But you went around asking people from when I was talking about you a day ago. Right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point, because Carolyn wasn't being like, has she said this in the past 12 hours?
That's the thing, because nobody realizes, like, I think they're there. I think the whole show was shot in like 2.5 weeks or something. And it's every day. Fast. Because, like Dolores told me, like, it was like every day they were doing something.
Apparently it's like 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Like, it's intense hours. So,
like, could you imagine being in there then, like, while you're just sitting around in the house just waiting to talk to people?
I'd go crazy too. I'd go crazy. Yeah. Like, especially because it's all based on like having theories about people's behavior and reading into things. I would be cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I'd be like reading into everything. And so that's where I understand that as a viewer, it's so frustrating for us to watch. But I think if I was in there, I also would have no fucking clue.
That's the thing too, and just because you're trying to remember everybody's personality and how they are and what they said is that. I don't know.
And also, Stu, it's like you haven't watched the other seasons, but a lot of the times in past seasons, like they'll get a traitor out, they'll banish a traitor at the round table, and then the traitors get to recruit somebody new. And none of that has happened this season because the faithfuls have been so unsuccessful in like voting people out. But I'm like, we're missing some of these twists because like with the Phaedra season last year, like they brought in multiple new traitors throughout the season, and it just made it a little bit more like.
Is there a possibility then from those people that that have gone home, like could one of those possibly come back as a traitor? No.
Last year they brought in somebody from the previous season. But nobody I don't think anybody who had gotten banished or murdered
because what are they going to bring them back as? Like, okay, this time we're going to be a traitor, or this time.
But what they could do is like, they could like recruit Dylan Efron as a traitor if they get the opportunity. Like they could
within
bring somebody
existing in it.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
Yes, but then that complicates it because it's like, if you're a faithful, you're like, oh, Dylan, he's obviously a faithful. He's so good at this. But then if you're Danielle or Carolyn and you recruit him, all your clues are him being faithful, then all of a sudden he's actually a traitor.
Now, when
it gets complicated.
When they recruit them, does Alan Cummings say like, one of you will be recruited tonight, or no?
I can't remember.
Or is it secret?
I don't think so, actually.
No,
I think they sometimes don't. I think they most of the time don't know how many traitors are there. Yeah.
Got it. Oh my.
And the faithful can say no to being recruited too. They get like a letter, like when you get murdered in your seat.
Yeah.
You get a letter and it's like they want to recruit you, yes or no.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about it.
It's such a good show. Addicted.
It is. Before we go, where do you think Beverly Hills is going to go after this? Are we done with the Dorit and Kyle stuff?
I think so.
Please, Jesus.
I think it's gonna be all about Sutton.
Yes.
And calling her out, which she needs.
She needs that.
I'm happy Sutton's on that show. She's a good poster.
Yeah.
But like, she's got to be called out, because if I'm one of the other women, I think Sutton's gotten away with too much over the years.
Yeah, she really has. And she's just like always like just pointing, like looking at other people's faults and not herself. Like, yeah. I need it. Yeah, I really need it. And then they need to go after Garcelle too. And if I see that beach house in Bakersfield one more time, I can't. Like, it just, no. Like,
why
no more
do you
beach
hate
house.
Beach house so much?
Because it's not on the beach. I don't know. It's like,
okay.
It's been kind of a joke. Me and Zach Peter. Me and Zach. and then like Son, I think in last episode, she's like, yeah, guys, we got to go because it's a bit out there. Or something.
Wait, where is it? I don't even know where it is.
It's in, I believe it's in Oxnard. So I'm totally like,
I don't know what that is.
Fucking around. Oxnard is like, it's up the coast. Like, it's not Malibu. It's like, it's way out there. And, it's probably in between like LA and Santa Barbara. Bakersfield is just some dumb joke that like, you know, me and Zach Peter was kind of saying. It was like, whatever. No, it's like, it's awesome that she has that.
No, but I'm with you. I think that like, you know, Garcelle and Sutton have both been potsters for a long time on the show, and they bring stuff about other people's lives a lot. Yeah. And so I think if you're acting like that on the show, which I think is good for the show, if you're the other women, you got to flip it around on them. Yeah, and that's the only smart and fair thing to do.
And if I was Garcelle, I'd be like, okay, I've been like skipping by the last few seasons. I need something strong. Like, I need to go after a woman. I need to blame her for something. I need to do something. Like, something needs to fucking happen to me, or I need to really do something. If you were
Garcelle, who would you go after? Who would you instigate with?
Who does she hate? Garcelle. She doesn't get along with who? Well, it was Dorit, but Dorit, but they kind of made up a tiny bit
already. Yeah, I feel like her and Kyle like have kind of a love-hate thing. You know. Yeah. Because like Kyle confides in her a lot, but then Garcelle will just repeat it to everybody.
I know. Oh my God.
PK Texas her, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Jesus. All right. Thank you so much for coming on. Please tell everybody where they can find you at.
Thank you for having me. This is very fun.
It's fun, yeah.
My podcast is called Gabbing with Gib, now part of the Hurrdat fam. New episodes at least twice a week, Tuesdays and Fridays, wherever you get your podcasts. And yeah, that's about it.
Great. One last announcement. I had dinner last night with my friend, Chris Ford. He's an amazing baker. He's not a baker. He's like a chocolatier. He does baking, everything. Like, he's incredible. So go to butterloveandhardwork.com. And he has these like insane, like heart Valentine's gift things. They're like $125, but like they're made out of chocolate. You get a hammer, you smash the heart. These truffles are inside. No, and now he's like, I got one for an ex-boyfriend once, like the heart one, and he sent one for that person's kid as well, which is really cute. And like he was blown away by it. Like he thought it was the coolest thing. And I think it's so much talent involved in that. Like as I majored in pastry and stuff, but I would never be able to do what he does. It's crazy. But what he did now, because he does something new and different every year, he actually got like a real heart. Like it looks like a real heart, and it's in a cryo bag, and it's made out of like chocolate, and it's the coolest thing. So Butter, Love, and Hard Work. Order them. I think they're pre-orders now for Valentine's. I don't get a percentage. I just think it's a really cool thing. I just wanted to talk about it. Yeah, it's cool.
Love it.
Gibson, thank you so much for coming on. Have a great week, and
Thanks for having me.
I will see you on your pod sometime soon.
Exactly.
Bye, everyone.